This is the rather neat little Xiaomi Pad 8 Pro, and it's actually the first Xiaomi product I've used, and I've got to say, I'm quite impressed. If you're new around here, hi, I'm Carl. I'm not some trendy tech YouTuber, I'm a very busy dad of young kids with a full-time job. I love tech, but I'm not that interested in the numbers or the tech specs. I'm interested in how it would actually slot into your life and the features you're going to actually use day to day. So the first thing I noticed on getting it out of the box is the build quality. It feels fantastic. Just as good as the OnePlus Pad 3, the iPad, or the Samsung S11 series, this feels without a doubt like a premium tablet. It has this squared off design to it and a flat, fairly plain design on the back with a classy and small Xiaomi logo and some contact pins in one corner and then the camera bump in the other. And that camera bump is quite classy and minimal as well, with a clean black look and these smooth rounded corners to it. I really like how it looks, and I love this color. This is the pine green, and it's this very muted, subtle, dark green to it when the light hits it just right. I really like it. The screen has slightly thicker bezels than I've seen on some other competing tablets, but they're even and they're quite thin in the big scheme of things. It's an IPS LCD display with a crazy high 3.2K resolution, so it's very sharp and detailed and colors pop nicely. It has a 144Hz refresh rate and 800 nits peak brightness. The front-facing camera is central when in landscape mode, and it will do face unlock. There's speakers on both sides, so the sound is even, a rocker on the volume on the top, and a power button on the left-hand side, which is also a fingerprint reader. The pins on the back connect to the smart keyboard, and there's a contact point on the top for the stylus. There's no SIM card though, which is a shame. Xiaomi's version of Android is called HyperOS, and so far, I'm impressed. It seems clean and practical. There's not much installed by default, certainly less than on Samsung's One UI or Honor's Magic OS, for example, and I haven't noticed any bugs or odd irritations. It all seems very practical. The control center looks very familiar as an iPhone user, but that's no bad thing. It does give you all the controls you need right there quickly with no fuss. And I really like the way they've organized their app drawer. I much prefer this to Apple's folders approach. You get these tabs along the top, or you can just create your own and put whatever you want in there. Overall, I'm quite impressed by HyperOS. There's a few less standout extra features than Oxygen OS or One UI, but what is here is very practical and clean. And the whole tablet is very fast and responsive indeed, as you'd expect from a Snapdragon 8 Elite chip inside. So there are two options for keyboard cases from Xiaomi, the standard one and then what they call the Focus keyboard. And this Focus keyboard is the same style as Apple's Magic Keyboard, which has some strengths and weaknesses in my opinion. Its strength is that it looks great. This floating design, even after all these years, is still impressive. It's also excellent for typing on your lap because it stays rigid and in line with the tablet. There's minimal movement going on. The weakness though is that it does make the tablet much heavier, and you can't just take the keyboard off or even fold it back on itself. So when I don't want the keyboard, like when I'm drawing or I'm watching content or editing photos, for example, I do end up pulling the tablet off its case and using it caseless. It also doesn't have a USB-C port on it for charging, which the Apple Magic Keyboard has. There's a nice little trackpad though, which is easy to use, and there's a backlight on the keyboard for using it in the dark. The standard one is similar, but with what I'd call a wedge design. It magnetically snaps onto the base to connect it, rather than the floating hinge design, and it is a bit more compact. No trackpad, but it is noticeably lighter, which is nice. Plus, it can fold back on itself so that you can use it like a normal tablet without detaching it. But on both options, the actual keyboard is really nice to type on. I've written pretty much all of the script on them, a mixture of on a table and on my lap on the sofa, and it's been great. It's a little cramped maybe, as all keyboards are for 11-inch tablets to be honest, but I soon got used to that. The keys feel really nice and soft to press and enjoyable to type on. There's minimal wobble when I'm using it on my lap on either type of keyboard design, and the magnets are super strong, especially here on the Focus one. It's really stuck on there. So let's talk about what it's like to use in some real world situations. And let's start with productivity, as I think this is the area which I really recommend this tablet for. This 11-inch size makes it so portable, easy to throw in your bag and go. So if what you're looking for from a tablet is to be a smaller, more portable laptop replacement, this and one of the keyboard cases is a great choice for that. Multitasking is really easy as well. It's quick to get started and to control your split screen options, or there's a whole windowed mode which you access with a button in the quick controls section. I think this is less useful for seeing things side by side and more useful for when you're quickly switching between windows. Because on an 11-inch screen, you don't really have that much space for this kind of Windows approach. Regular split screen gives you a bit more usable, readable space in each window. But this windowed mode does give you quick access to the dock at the bottom and to the tabs that you can see on either side of it, which lets you really quickly change which app you're interacting with. You can also plug the tablet into a second monitor, but it doesn't extend as a second display. It just mirrors your tablet screen, which is a shame. This is not Samsung DeX, for example. Note-taking is also fantastic. This is their new Focus Pen Pro stylus, which I'll talk more about in a second when we talk about art, but it's great. It's very responsive and easy to write with, and you can open up a new note by just sort of pinching the stylus together and choosing their Me Canvas app, which is great for handwritten notes. It could definitely do with better support for actual typed text though. You can customize which apps appear here in this quick menu when you pinch, by the way. I've chosen the Me Notes app, the calculator and Apple Music for quick access to them, which is really helpful. I do wish you could get these to appear as a floating window though, rather than just taking over the whole screen. Xiaomi, if you're listening, I think that would be a really nice touch for this quick menu. Overall, I think this is a really nice package for productivity. I can see myself using this for script writing for these videos, for example, for notes at work, or if you're in lectures, if you're a student, anything like that, this is going to be great. And I would definitely recommend the Xiaomi Pad 8. Where I think I'd recommend it slightly less is for media consumption, watching films and shows, things like that. It's not bad, it's just not really anything that stands out from the competition. The LCD screen is nice, colors look great, and contrast really pops. It has full HDR support in streaming apps, so it does tick a lot of boxes. But it's 11 inches, so it's not that big, and it's a 3:2 aspect ratio. Great for productivity because it's a bit taller, more like a laptop screen, but it's further away from 16:9 or 17:9 that video normally is. So you get thicker borders at the top and bottom when watching a film. And you'll see those borders more, especially in the dark, because it's LCD, not OLED with its deep, rich, crunchy blacks, which people will definitely bring up in the comment section. There will 100% be people saying that they wish it was OLED. I can practically see them typing now. So the screen is great, but nothing that stands out from the crowd of Android tablets really. And the speakers are a bit of a disappointment as well. They sound quite shallow and don't actually get that loud either, which I was surprised by, considering there's a Dolby Atmos sign on the side as well. Long story short, if you're watching content as just one of the many things you want to do on your tablet, then this is going to be absolutely fine for you. But if it is basically the main thing that you care about and the main thing you're buying your tablet for, there might well be some better options out there for you. The last area I'd like to talk about is art and drawing. I like to draw these little bird paintings, which I turn into wallpapers on the tablets I review. I also sell these, by the way, as just a small little way of supporting the channel, so the link to those is below if you want one for yourself. But I spent an evening drawing this little robin here using the HyPaint app on the Xiaomi Pad 8 Pro with the new Focus Pen Pro, and I really enjoyed it. I did a bit of research on previous Xiaomi tablets before this one arrived, as it's the first one of their tablets I've used myself, and I didn't find a lot of positivity from the art community, mainly because of the stylus. But this new one, it seems to me anyway, to have fixed pretty much every problem that people had. It is fast and responsive, it has pressure and tilt control, draws nice straight lines with no jitter that I can see, and it even has a nice little hover preview, which really helps you feel in control of what you're doing. I do wish this hover preview went away when you actually touched the tablet though, as when I'm drawing these birds I do quite a lot of very fast little pen strokes, and the circle dancing around all over the place was getting a bit distracting. But overall, I really enjoyed my evening drawing on the Xiaomi Pad 8 Pro. It very much felt like I was drawing on my iPad Air with the Apple Pencil Pro, which is no bad thing. So this model I'm holding here is the Xiaomi Pad 8 Pro, which starts at £529, but there's also the regular Pad 8, which starts at £399, which I haven't seen in person, but apparently is the same physical build, the same screen, same software and accessories, but it has slightly less powerful processor inside with the Snapdragon 8S Gen 4 rather than the 8 Elite. And it has less capable cameras, but that's a much less important feature on a tablet, of course, than it is on a phone. And it has the same size battery, but with 45 watts charging rather than the 65 watts charging. But apart from that, it appears to be, from what I can see, the same tablet, which is very interesting, as it means you can get pretty much everything that I like about this tablet at a starting price of only £399, which is a pretty compelling price. So yeah, that's been my first ever experience with a Xiaomi tablet, and I've got to say, I'm impressed. There's a lot I like about the Pad 8 Pro. It's just a really solid all-rounder. If you want a dedicated tablet for art or a dedicated tablet for watching Netflix, there are definitely better specific choices for those areas. But if you just want a compact tablet which can go everywhere with you and do a little bit of everything, I think this is a great choice. Right. Back to the real world. I'm gonna go steam the floors now and get up all the food that the kids have spilt everywhere. But thanks very much for watching.